If you have a belief in faith, it's not on your time. You can pray for what you want, but it comes in its own time. That's the difficulty of being mortal. That's the difficulty of being human, to go, I don't want those saints to control my life.
People think celebrities only care about parties, power, and huge careers. So it surprises many when a star abandoned it all for religion.
It is such a massive undertaking that you can't do it lightly and you can't do it quickly. You have to really consider what it is that you need to show in order to be poignant. It's going to be a real jigsaw puzzle.
But 9 famous figures did exactly that. They reached the highest level of Hollywood and still felt empty. What pushed them to surrender everything? How did their lives transform? Join us as we uncover 9 celebrities who risked it all to follow Jesus. Number 9. Chris Pratt. Before Chris Pratt became one of the most recognizable actors in the world, his life was very different. In his early 20s, he lived in a van in Hawaii, working small jobs just to survive. He had very little direction and no solid spiritual foundation. His teenage faith faded during those years, leaving him unsure about his purpose in life. When he moved to Los Angeles, his career slowly began improving. His role in parks and recreation helped him gain attention, and soon he entered the world of blockbuster movies. But behind the bright image, Pratt was dealing with drinking habits and emotional challenges. Fame increased the pressure. He felt overwhelmed, stressed, and spiritually disconnected, even though his public life appeared exciting. Everything changed in the year 2018 during the MTV Movie and TV Awards. While accepting a major honor, Pratt gave a speech that instantly became one of the most talked about moments of his career. He spoke boldly about God's love and encouraged young viewers to remember their worth. The reaction was immediate and intense. Some people supported him, while others criticized him for bringing faith into a mainstream award show. Many predicted the moment would harm his career. Instead of hiding, Pratt continued to live openly as a Christian. He attended church with his family, supported faith-based community events, and chose to be transparent about his beliefs. He knew this made some people uncomfortable, but he refused to pretend for the sake of popularity. His decision surprised Hollywood, a place where most celebrities stay quiet about religion to avoid conflict. Pratt's new path also influenced his work. He started selecting roles that carried themes like courage, self-control, responsibility, and redemption. These values lined up with his faith, and he wanted to represent characters with strength and integrity. Because of this, fans worldwide connected with him even more, especially those who admired his honesty. Today, Pratt is considered one of the most vocal Christians in mainstream entertainment. Even when criticism rises online, he continues living according to his beliefs and raising his children with strong spiritual foundations. But what about the man who dominated the comedy world during the 1980s and quietly shaped his entire life around Christian values? Number 8. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy became a global star in the 1980s with comedy specials and films like Beverly Hills Cop and Coming to America. His talent brought massive fame, wealth, and public attention at a young age. Many celebrities who rose that fast struggled with addiction, reckless behavior, or scandal. Eddie Murphy avoided much of that chaos because he lived by Christian values taught to him from childhood. He grew up in a Catholic household and kept a private but steady connection to faith. Even during his busiest years, he placed strong importance on prayer, humility, and emotional balance. He understood how quickly fame could destroy a person and often credited his belief in God for giving him awareness in moments when his life could have gone in a dangerous direction. While many of his peers fell into substance misuse, legal issues, and public breakdowns, he stayed focused on work and personal well-being. His commitment to faith helped him filter temptations around him. He built a large family and raised his 10 children with guidance based on respect, kindness, and spiritual grounding. Even though he rarely spoke loudly about religion, those close to him often noted that he took fatherhood seriously and encouraged stability at home. As he continued building one of the most successful comedy careers in modern history, he remained peaceful and thoughtful, avoiding many traps that commonly affect famous entertainers. His focus on emotional health also helped him stay consistent in his career for decades, unlike many stars who came and went. Fans saw a confident performer on screen, but behind the scenes, he lived a calm, centered life. He valued privacy, family time, and spiritual well-being more than publicity. That balance kept him grounded, despite earning worldwide attention for more than 4 decades. But none of these stories can compare to the next global figures, who shocked the world by openly choosing Jesus even when massive industries tried to pull them in the opposite direction. Number 7. Kanye West. Kanye West has been one of the most influential artists of modern music. His career shaped fashion, rap, and pop culture worldwide. But in the year 2019, he made a major change that surprised the entire entertainment world. He launched Sunday service gatherings and publicly declared himself a Christian artist. Many fans did not understand the shift. Some atheists, industry executives, and longtime supporters criticized his new direction. They believed his career would weaken. Despite pressure, he moved forward with full commitment. He created Jesus is King, an album with no profanity and complete focus on faith and spiritual transformation. Several radio stations refused to play the songs because they wanted his old sound. Some companies reduced support. Even with those challenges, the album reached wide audiences. It won a Grammy and became a major moment in Christian music. Millions of listeners heard his message of change, healing, and surrender to God. Kanye continued holding worship events, praying publicly, and sharing messages about spiritual renewal. He spoke openly about how faith helped him handle emotional struggles and mental health challenges. His decision to step away from destructive patterns showed a strong desire for a new life. Even with public criticism, he remained committed to Christian teachings. He shared scripture on social media, encouraged young people to seek God, and called for stronger spiritual awareness in culture. His transformation became one of the most widely discussed celebrity faith journeys of the 21st century. But if Kanye, of all celebrities, could leave everything behind for Jesus, who else did? Number 6. Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner grew up in a Baptist home where church was normal, and his grandmother made sure faith stayed important. This early foundation shaped him, even though he didn't fully understand it as a child. When he entered Hollywood, everything changed. Success arrived quickly through films like Dances with Wolves and The Bodyguard. Fame, awards, and money surrounded him, but something inside him began to fade. The busier he became, the less connected he felt to the faith he grew up with. Hollywood brought excitement, but it also brought distance from the quiet, spiritual grounding he once knew. As his career advanced, Costner noticed a strange feeling of emptiness. He realized that achievements did not bring lasting peace. He often felt that unseen protection had followed him throughout his life, especially during difficult career moments. This belief grew stronger with time, and he became more aware of how certain opportunities arrived at the perfect moment, as if guided. This sense of divine timing became even clearer when he started Horizon, an American saga. Every major studio turned down the project. Executives said it was too big, too risky, and too old-fashioned. Most actors would have walked away. Instead, Costner made a decision that shocked Hollywood. He took $38 million from his own savings and funded the film himself. He believed the story needed to be told because it highlighted survival, courage, unity, and the quiet presence of God guiding people through the unknown Western frontier. Costner wanted the film to show how early settlers depended on faith when they had nothing else. The project became a personal mission, almost a spiritual task. He worked tirelessly on it, even when critics predicted failure. When the film finally premiered at the Cannes Film Festival, the audience responded with an 11-minute standing ovation. Costner became emotional because the moment confirmed everything he believed about timing and purpose. For him, the applause was more than praise. It felt like a clear message that following God's direction, even when it costs everything, can lead to greater rewards. Today, Costner is more open about his faith. The success of Horizon has renewed his passion for making films with deeper meaning. He continues to follow a path guided by conviction rather than trends, and many fans admire him for it. But what about the man who put far more on the line? $25 million of his own money to create the most debated Jesus film of the modern era? Number 5. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson entered the early 2000s already known as a major actor and director, but his desire to create a film about the final hours of Jesus placed him in direct conflict with many Hollywood leaders. Executives strongly advised him not to move forward because they believed the project would fail and damage his reputation. Every major studio turned him down. Many agents told him that focusing on a religious film was equal to ending his career, and some urged him to stay with safer projects that fit Hollywood expectations. With no support, he used his own money to cover the entire cost. For months, the project had no distributor. Only one small company stepped in close to the release date, offering limited help. Industry observers expected the film to open quietly and disappear quickly. Instead, it shocked the world. The Passion of the Christ earned around $611 million globally and became one of the highest-grossing independent films in film history. It influenced millions of Christian viewers and created wide conversation about faith, sacrifice, and personal belief. Many churches reported renewed interest in spiritual discussions after the film's release. Even with the success, Mel Gibson faced strong backlash from different groups in Hollywood. Some called for boycotts, and others refused to work with him for years. The industry's reaction created long-term challenges for him, including delayed projects and limited invitations to major events. Despite all of this, he remained deeply connected to his faith. He continued to focus on prayer and personal devotion, and stayed close to the religious convictions that guided him since his youth. Mel Gibson's career experienced setbacks, but he continued to work on passion projects, including later religious films. His identity stayed rooted in faith rather than industry approval, making him one of the most unique figures in modern cinema. But what happens when success, alcohol, frustration, and a broken marriage collide with a praying mother determined to save her son? The next celebrity shows how faith can pull a man out of the deepest hole, even in Hollywood. Number 4. Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris grew up in a poor Oklahoma household where his single mother did everything she could to raise him and his brothers. She worked many jobs, struggled to keep food on the table, and still managed to teach her children that faith could guide them through anything. Her prayers had a powerful effect on Norris, even though he didn't fully appreciate them until much later in life. As he became older, Norris joined the Air Force, discovered martial arts, built a career as a world-class fighter, and eventually entered Hollywood. His tough guy roles made him famous. Shows like Walker, Texas Ranger, and numerous action films introduced him to millions of fans worldwide. But fame did not solve the heaviness he carried inside. The world saw a strong hero, but Norris struggled privately with anger, insecurity, and emotional pressure. During the height of his career, his personal life started falling apart. Alcohol became a major problem. He drank to relax, to escape, and eventually to numb emotional pain. His first marriage collapsed after many years because the lifestyle he lived left no space for healthy communication or trust. Even with global success, he felt an empty space inside that nothing seemed to fill. It became clear that achievement alone could not fix everything. His turning point came slowly, not overnight. Norris began reflecting on his childhood, especially his mother's dedication, her consistent prayers, and the values she tried to pass down. These memories pushed him to reconnect with faith. When he married his second wife, he found someone who encouraged him to return to scripture and quiet prayer. They started reading the Bible together every morning. This daily habit transformed his attitude, strengthened his discipline, and helped him rebuild the emotional stability he had lost. Norris eventually found peace through a renewed relationship with God. He became calmer, kinder, and more focused. He now uses his platform to speak publicly about faith, family, and moral discipline. He encourages people to commit to spiritual growth the same way they commit to physical training. His message is simple. Success means nothing if your inner life is broken, but faith can rebuild what Hollywood can destroy. But what about a woman who risked her entire Hollywood career by standing for her Christian values in an industry that punished her for speaking up? Number 3. Patricia Heaton. Patricia Heaton became a major television name through Everybody Loves Raymond, which made her one of the most recognizable sitcom performers of her time. While her career grew, she stayed firmly connected to her Catholic upbringing. Her faith shaped her views, her decisions, and her public statements. She never separated her beliefs from her identity. Her strong pro-life stance became one of the biggest turning points in her public life. Hollywood is often uncomfortable with outspoken religious opinions, especially on sensitive issues. When she expressed her views openly, the reaction was immediate. Some industry leaders distanced themselves. Casting opportunities faded. Longtime colleagues stopped communicating. She understood that her position could cost her professional support, but she refused to compromise her values. Even during difficult seasons, Patricia continued speaking with clarity and kindness. She explained that her faith guided her sense of compassion, forgiveness, and responsibility. She said that she relied on prayer throughout the day and trusted God more than any level of fame. Her relationship with God informed how she handled stress, career challenges, and public criticism. Despite backlash, she built a strong career outside traditional Hollywood circles. She starred in other successful series, wrote books, worked in charity, and supported organizations focused on family care and community service. She also encouraged young actors to remain true to their beliefs rather than adjusting to industry pressure. Today, she remains respected by audiences who admire her conviction, courage, and steady devotion to her faith. Number 2. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks grew up in a home that moved through several religious traditions. His early years included teachings from Catholicism, Mormonism, Methodism, and Judaism. This mix created confusion rather than clarity. When he became famous, he slowly pulled away from organized religion. Acting success, travel, and long work hours pushed faith to the side. He focused on career rather than spiritual life. Everything changed when he met Rita Wilson, a devoted member of the Greek Orthodox Church. She lived with steady spiritual discipline, strong prayer habits, and deep respect for Scripture. Her stable faith stood out to him. For years he had prayed quietly for a partner who would bring peace, and he believed she was the answer to that hope. Through her influence, Tom began attending Orthodox church services, joining Bible studies, and spending time in spiritual reflection. The calm atmosphere of the Orthodox tradition helped him reconnect with God in a new way. He learned to slow down, think deeply, and value spiritual balance over constant work pressure. Over time, he developed a consistent religious routine. He joined his wife in worship, participated in church activities, and supported Orthodox charities. The structure of the faith helped him rebuild inner peace. He began talking openly in interviews about the role of Scripture, prayer, and spiritual awareness in his daily life. Tom Hanks often points to faith as one of the reasons his long marriage has stayed strong. He speaks about how spiritual unity strengthens communication, trust, and emotional support. His belief in God also shaped his sense of purpose as a husband, father, and actor. As he grew older, he continued to share gentle, thoughtful messages about hope, gratitude, and spiritual grounding. Tom Hanks may be one of Hollywood's most respected figures, but his renewed spiritual life remains one of the most meaningful parts of his identity. But who is the final celebrity whose transformation shocked the world even more? A young star who moved from scandals toward public worship. Number 1. Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber became a global superstar as a teenager. He broke music records, filled stadiums, and gained millions of fans in many countries. But behind the success, he struggled with depression, substance use, and emotional emptiness. The pressure of fame at such a young age made him feel lost and overwhelmed. He later said that the lifestyle nearly destroyed him. As he searched for help, he connected deeply with Christian pastors like Judah Smith and Carl Lentz. They encouraged him to study scripture, pray daily, and build a stronger spiritual foundation. Slowly, he began speaking openly about his belief in Jesus. He started singing Christian songs during concerts, reading the Bible in public places, and sharing faith-centered messages online. His transformation continued as he built healthier habits and relationships. He married Hailey Baldwin in a wedding centered on faith, prayer, and commitment. Their marriage became a strong spiritual partnership, helping him grow emotionally and mentally. He worked hard to repair mistakes from earlier years and encouraged young fans to build a personal relationship with God rather than depend on fame or social approval. Justin faced ridicule from some media outlets and fans who preferred his old behavior, but he stayed firm. He focused on honesty, emotional healing, and spiritual maturity. He talked often about how God saved him from self-destruction and gave him a new purpose. Today, Justin Bieber remains one of the most well-known modern examples of a celebrity who stepped away from chaos to seek peace in faith. His openness about his struggles shows that even world-famous individuals need support, guidance, and spiritual grounding. So these celebrities risked everything: money, reputation, and status to follow Jesus. The question is, would you? If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.